This is my family pharmacy, where I worked as a kid helping my mum, while my dad was an NHS GP down the road, and it's where I saw firsthand the incredible sense of service that runs through our NHS. And indeed, it was that dedication that got the country through the pandemic. But whilst the NHS was battling COVID, lots of treatments that normally would have taken place were either delayed or cancelled. For example, the number of people being referred to hospital appointments went down by 79%. The number of people being seen for urgent cancer treatment went down by 56%. And when it came to GPs, we saw 30 million fewer appointments than we normally would have seen. All of that contributed to a rise in the post-pandemic backlogs and an increase in the waiting lists. And that's why I put the NHS at the heart of my 5 priorities when I first got this job. And what is our plan? Well, it starts with record funding. And the NHS this year will have 35% more cash than it did at the start of the Parliament. Next, it's about making sure the NHS has the staff it needs. And there, again, record numbers, 100,000 more clinical staff in the NHS today than there were at the beginning of the Parliament, including delivering on our manifesto commitment to have 50,000 more nurses. But crucially, I also wanted to make sure that we train more doctors and nurses here at home rather than being reliant on people coming from overseas. For the first ever time, we now have a long-term workforce plan that is funded and is dramatically increasing the number of doctors, nurses and everyone else that the NHS needs, so it will have the staff for years into the future. But I think we all know that that's not enough. We don't just need to pump more money in, we need to have an agenda to do things differently to get you the care that you need. And that's why we're now making it possible for you to go and see your pharmacist, like my mum, for you or your children when you have one of 7 common ailments like a sore throat, ear infection. Go straight to your pharmacist, you don't need to see your GP, they can give you the medicines that you need, saving you time. Next, choice. When your GP now refers you for onward treatment, you have a choice of where you'd like to have that treatment, and that may well include the independent sector too. And by doing that, we're making life easier for you, getting you the care you need faster. Third, surgical hubs and community diagnostic centres are innovative ways that we can deliver elective surgery or get you the checks, tests and scans that you need closer to home and faster. And that's why we're rolling out hundreds of these across the country, and they're already making a difference in helping us tackle the backlog. And then lastly, better use of technology, whether that's using AI to help doctors interpret scans or indeed improving what you can do on the NHS app, where 30 million people are already taking advantage of what the functionality that we've injected. So that's our plan for the NHS. How are we doing? And I want to be completely honest. Out of all the 5 priorities I set out when I first got this job, the NHS is the area where we've not made as much progress as I would have liked, and I know that that's had an impact on you and your family. Obviously, strikes last year didn't help, but at the start of this year, I really believe that we have turned a corner and there are signs that our plan is working. Now, data out just today shows that waiting lists have now been falling for 5 months when it comes to the number of people receiving cancer treatment. Right now there are more people than ever before getting that vital treatment. A&E and ambulances. Obviously this is not where any of us would like it to be, but this winter we saw that waiting times were down compared to last winter. That's the first time that's happened for over a decade. Dentists, I set out a recovery plan in January, and we've already seen 400 more dentist practices offering NHS dentistry, helping us get to our target of 2.5 million more appointments. On GP appointments, we've hit our manifesto commitment to deliver 50 million more primary care appointments. So look, I know there's an enormous amount more to do to deliver for you and your family, but hopefully that gives you some reassurance that we are making progress and you're starting to see the change that I want to make sure we do deliver. In contrast, what's the alternative to that plan and the progress we're making? What would life under Labour look like? Well, the NHS is devolved in Wales. It means it's entirely the responsibility of the Welsh Labour government. And indeed, Keir Starmer has described Wales as a blueprint for how he wants to run the rest of the country. So let's have a look at that. When it comes to wait times, they are longer in Wales than they are in England. Indeed, for the longest waiters, people waiting 2 years for their treatment, for example, there are still thousands of people in Wales in that situation, whereas in England we've virtually eliminated the number of long waiters. Indeed, right now, 1 in 5 people in Wales is sitting on an NHS waiting list. And when it comes to A&E, Wales has the worst performance in Britain. So that is the reality of what life under Labour looks like when it comes to the NHS, and it shows why it's so important that we stick to our plan that is starting to deliver the change that we all want to see and not go back to square one.